I'll wait for a few people to come in the room. It's a nice day out in LA. Just out here getting some sunshine, some vitamin C. I think I'll come and sit down for a little bit. Got some really interesting topics to talk about today, everybody. Make sure I'm looking okay. Make sure I'm presentable. All right. How are you doing? Oh, wow. Wanted to go in and get outside today, you know. It's nice out. I know it's noisy and all, but, you know, I just wanted to get out, do the stream, enjoy the weather. I'll sit here for a few more minutes, wait for some people to come in the room, and then I'll just go on into the commentary. What's going on, Real Mike? How you doing? Yeah, boy. Yep, chilling too. Get my bearings, get myself together, get myself in order. Make sure I'm looking presentable. Make sure my face is okay. Alright, I think I'm looking good. Alright. So I guess I'll start going on into the commentary. I hope everyone's doing all right today. I hope we're in our right mind. I hope everyone is being blessed. I hope everyone's being safe. I just want to talk about some things, a lot of the stuff that's been going on in the news, stuff that I've been meaning to cover and talk about, and I guess just never got around to doing it, but I won't go on and talk about it right now. So I'm sure we all know by now the first thing I'm going to talk about is the situation with Gayle King. Gayle King made the statements about Kobe when she was interviewing Lisa Leslie. And I understand everyone's outrage over it. I mean, I'm going to say this about Gayle King. I think she didn't use wisdom. She should have been a little bit more understanding, a little bit more respectful when she was interviewing Lisa Leslie. Lisa basically was defending Kobe and saying that she grew up with him and that he was not like that. He wasn't the way that the media made him out to be. And I agree with what Lisa was saying, that if they had an issue with Kobe and these allegations from 20 years ago, which, by the way, he was cleared of those charges, come to find out that the witness, the alleged victim, was not a credible witness. Not to mention she was also known even by her own friends to sleep around. This young lady, the victim so-called, was just trying to get a bag, and she was trying to get a quick come up. So she tried to set Kobe up with some rape charges. Not to mention they said that her testimony had holes in it. So it's possible she lied. When she didn't take the stand, that should have told you right there. So Kobe actually did go to court, but was found innocent. He didn't settle out of court for however much money. So there. In this Me Too era movement, that Me Too movement era system that we're living in, you got so many women that want to come out and say that things happened to them that didn't happen to them. You got people want to take advantage of it, taking advantage of what actually happened. See, my thing is this: when the Me Too movement first started, I was all for it. I really am, because for a long time there were women who were legitimately were sexually assaulted and were sexually molested, whatever. And when those women came out, the Me Too movement actually gave them a voice to finally speak up. And I'm glad that happened for them. But now you got some of these women coming out of the woodworks taking advantage and riding the coattails of legitimate victims. That's not right. But back to Gayle King. So Gayle King basically kept pressing Lisa Leslie on the issue when she already made it clear that Kobe was not like that, that he was a stand-up guy, that he was not the person that the media made him out to be. And if you had an issue with him for 20 years, you should have spoke to him while he was still alive, instead of desecrating his memory. And in a city like Los Angeles, where I am now, people are still mourning his loss. That wound is still open. It's basically like when Gayle kept asking these questions, she literally kept pulling the scab open, which prompted people such as Snoop Dogg, and I'm sure by now everyone's heard Snoop Dogg's rant and his comments toward Gayle King. While I probably wouldn't have necessarily done it the way Snoop did it, I do understand the outrage. I mean, Gayle should have known better. And see, we live in a system, we live in this very racist system. It's like Gayle King and her friend Oprah in the past have been known to go after and malign black men in their own race who have been accused of such crimes. When you got people like Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey who go unscathed. And speaking of Harvey Weinstein, he's in court right now for sexual assault charges made to him from different women, and he's also one of Oprah's good friends. Now, there have been pictures in the past of Oprah hugged up with Harvey Weinstein and exchanging kisses, but not one time has she come out or got off on her high horse to speak about him. But when you have black men that are being thrown under the bus, they're real quick to talk about black men. And we live in a system that is already biased against black men, always wants to vilify and demonize us. It's bad when women from our own race do the same thing, when they take advantage, when they become co-opted by this white supremacist system that constantly tries to malign us. Now, I'm not saying that wrong shouldn't be reprimanded. Of course not. Now, you got people like R. Kelly who's in court again for whatever cases he did. Sometimes people do bring themselves up and put themselves in these positions to be targeted. R. Kelly is one such person. But when you got people such as Michael Jackson, who's no longer here to defend himself, and Oprah is being part of a documentary to talk about Michael, and Gayle King that's talking about what Kobe did with the sexual molestation charges, which he beat. The only thing Kobe is guilty of really is infidelity on Vanessa, which he since made up for. So really, there was no reason for Gayle King to continue to go ask these questions. Now, ever since then, Gayle's she's apologized. Whether it was legitimate or not, I don't know, but I'll just go with the fact that she apologized. I'll take her word for it. She's been receiving death threats. Now, I don't agree that she should have death threats. I don't believe that no harm should come to her. I'm not saying that. I don't wish that on her. I don't wish that on anyone. My thing is this, is that she should be a little bit more careful next time she does an interview. Use a little bit more wisdom when you're interviewing people on such a sensitive topic, such as what she was talking about. I mean, when you have people that want to drag a deceased person through the mud, that's a very cowardly and a very dastardly thing to do. That's a very inappropriate, disrespectful, and just malignant thing to do, to drag a dead person through the mud for something that they were accused of 20 years ago, which they beat. That really shouldn't have even been the case with Kobe. That shouldn't have been the topic that she should have been talking about. She should have possibly maybe asked Lisa about their childhood together. Those are the questions she should have asked. Now, what Gayle decided to do, which I do find her at fault for. She wanted to shift the blame to CBS, saying it's their fault. Well, no, it's not CBS's fault, Gayle. It is your fault because you're the one that asked the questions. You should have just changed the questions. You did not have to ask those questions. You could have asked some more questions and be done with it. You didn't have to continue to keep poking the bear, so to speak, and keep asking Lisa Leslie the questions you were asking when she had already answered your questions before and was defending Kobe and trying to let it go. So I will say that much about Gayle King. She indeed brought that on herself. And we know she's best friends with Oprah. Oprah came to her defense, which is not really surprising to me at all because she's not going to find any fault in her friend, her homegirl. But as far as the death threats she's been receiving, I don't agree with that. I don't think any harm should come to her. I just think, though, she should be a little bit more careful with the questions she asks next time. And when you're living in the system of white supremacy that constantly demonizes and constantly vilifies and maligns, defames black men, you got to be more careful and more worthy what you think. More careful, more wordy with the things you say. So that's really my whole opinion. That's my commentary on the whole situation with Gayle King. That's my entire say so on it, because she should have done her homework more. She should have done more research before she started asking questions such as that, which is still a sensitive topic to deal with. Oh, wow. So other than that, though, that's what I really want to talk on that. Like there's been pictures I've seen. There's been pictures of Gayle King standing with figures such as Kevin Spacey, and Kevin Spacey's another one who's been accused of sexual misconduct. Matt Lauer, Brett Ratner. We all know Russell Simmons has been accused also. But the difference between them and Russell Simmons is that these white men, when they're accused of sexual misconduct, they're barely even heard of. It's like they have certain protections that keep them out of the spotlight. Whereas people like Russell Simmons and Tavis Smiley, R. Kelly, and we all know Bill Cosby got his comeuppance. They're constantly being brought and drugged through the mud, given an hourglass. It's sending a message to America and to the world, really, that black men are these oversexed maniacs who must be stopped at all costs. It is a tarnish to our image and a destruction of our character. Like I said before, when wrong is done, of course, wrong should be reprimanded. When you're wrong about something, you need to be dealt with. I get that. But don't constantly keep on dragging people through the mud for something they didn't do, especially when they're not here to defend themselves. So that's pretty much all I want to say about that as far as Gayle King is concerned. So before I go into the next topic, let me go on and see who's in the chat. Hello, say hello to folks. Let's see who's all here. Got little Mike is in the building. All right, Divine Wisdom, what's going on? How you doing, Divine? Monique Hill, how you doing, Queen? Good to see you, love. Yeah, you're right, Monique. It is. It's all part of Hollywood. It really is. It most definitely is. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Support the channel at paypal.me/The Real Aaron Collins, as well as patreon.com/The Real Aaron Collins. I really appreciate everyone showing up in the room today. I appreciate you guys coming to show some love. I just want to take you all with me on this beautiful day here. I mean, it's a beautiful day, guys. I mean, we shouldn't spend no time all cooped up anywhere. I mean, like I'm doing right now, I think folks should get out and walk, you know, get out and go for a walk or something. See what's going on. That's the one thing that people don't do enough of anyway. People don't get out and do things. People are so cooped up in their homes. So, yeah. So also another thing I wanted to go over and talk about was, as we all know, good old his orangeness himself, Mr. 45, Donald Trump, was recently acquitted in court of impeachment, which I'm not surprised. I've said it before. I stated this this past Saturday when I was on Information Man's platform. I basically said the same thing to him, that I'm not surprised that Donald Trump was acquitted. For the simple fact is that Trump is actually, I believe that there's a higher power that's keeping Trump in office. And I believe that's strategic, and I say why. Donald Trump is basically the sandpaper that this nation needs. See, the United States needs a wake-up call, needs to be shaken up. Especially in the black community, we need to be shaken to our core. We need to be shaken to the point where it causes the black community collectively to get off their ass and get up and mobilize and strategize to get things done. You see, I said this before, the last 8 years of the previous administration, which was one Barack Hussein Obama, it caused us to get lax. It caused us to let our guard down and think everything was one gigantic party when it wasn't. People just don't get it, that when you're dealing with situations such as what we're dealing with, you have to get up and mobilize. And the problem with us as a people, we have always been too reactive. We've never been proactive. And when something happens, we're always quick to complain and moan. Pardon me, y'all. Just doing so many things at once. Anyway, we're so quick to keep on complaining and moaning, but we don't get nothing done. We always wait for something to take place, for something to happen, when we decide to get up and move into action. See, that's not the time to go into action. We need to take care of things before they happen, so that way, when they do happen, we be able to handle it right then and there. Hold on, everybody. Let me okay, hold on. All right. Yeah, so we're always waiting for something to happen before we decide we want to get up and handle up on an issue. But that's not the time to do it. We need to handle things before they start to happen. We need to strategize, and we need to talk to each other, which is one of the reasons why we as black men need to get back into our communities and begin to help build up our communities, get back in our families, and stop, instead of letting it burn down as some as certain members of a certain group would say, let the black community burn. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. Because to me, that is a cop-out. It is a sorry-ass excuse to run away from responsibility. And that's why we continue to have these things happen. But anyway, I'm saying this about Trump. He's basically a sandpaper president. He's somebody that he's something that we need in office to get us to mobilize and get us to get up and, like I said, and move. See, when he first came into office, the way I look at it, when he first came into office, basically what he did was expose the whole lot of things that we knew were happening anyway. He brought to the forefront what was basically suppressed and hidden from us. He brought it to where we could see what was going on, to where we know when it was going to happen. So bottom line, basically, the ball is in our court. But I see some of us just haven't learned. See, I believe certain things have to take place that are going to cause us to embrace each other, that's going to cause us, take us to start helping each other, to make us to talk to each other, to make us to go back to one another. That's what's going to have to happen, I believe. And for those who decide they want to let the community burn, let them leave. That's the way I see it. For those who want to sell out, for those who don't want to stay in the community, for those who don't want to help out, for those who want to abandon the community, by all means, let them go. But people like that, once they leave, they shouldn't be allowed back in, because since they thought that the mainstream society was so much better for them to be in, that they would abandon their own people. I'm not saying that you can't be around other people. I'm not saying that you can't help other people or even be friends or associate with other people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking to those who decide that they don't want nothing to do with the black community, that they want to completely leave the black community. But once they get out there and get the wake-up call of what it means to leave, people like that should not be allowed to come back in. Because since you thought it was so good to leave, then you should be gone. You should leave and stay gone. So that's just the way I see it, the way I look at it. Because people like that need to be taught a lesson. People like that need to learn that you just can't leave and expect to come back in when you feel like it. But anyway, yeah, Trump being acquitted was not a surprise to me at all. Somehow I kind of knew it was going to happen. But that's okay, because we've been handled with kid gloves long enough. It's time for a shaking up to go on. It's time for something that's going to make folks move, make people mobilize, make people get up and do something. I mean, one thing I can say about us as a people, I love my people, I really do, but we are some of the most complainingest people I can think of. We complain about so many things, but yet make so little moves to action to get stuff to change. Change starts with you. You need to be the change, and I'm not talking about just you who's watching this. I'm talking to myself also. Be the change that you're looking for. We shouldn't be relying on politicians, preachers. We shouldn't be relying on people, because people will let you down. People will let you down. People will disappoint you. People will do all these things. Let me get the light here. I hope everyone can see me here. Can everybody see and hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you can see and hear me. I'm trying to adjust myself. I am outside and the sunlight is a certain way. All right. Good. Hey, Miss Coleman, how you doing, love? I'm glad to see you. Hold on. All right. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. We shouldn't be depending on politicians and preachers. I'm not saying don't be helped by people. Don't rely on people to help out in certain situations or anything like that. I'm just saying that we shouldn't depend on people to help fix our problems. If you want something done, once again, the change that you're looking for. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay. So that's how I feel about the whole acquittal of Donald Trump. I'm not one bit surprised. It was probably bound to happen anyway, but that's okay. That is okay. That is completely okay because you know what? It should be. This is a moment, a triumph for us to get up and mobilize, move to action anyway. I know I like to use that word mobilize because that's something we need to be doing. We need to move into action. We need a call to action. We need to just get up and do something. Instead of sitting around complaining and moaning and bitching like a lot of us do, we need to get up and do something. Hey, how you doing? What's going on, everyone? Everyone that just walked in. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. The sun's like beaming right on me right now. Oh well. I'm just letting my melanin pop. Yeah, I'm glad everyone good. I'm glad everyone in the chat's hearing me. Guys, everyone in the chat, just go and get to know each other. I don't mind people meeting each other, get to know each other, support each other, follow each other's channels. Here's a rule I have. I'm not into drama. I'm not a beef channel. Oh, I just saw an accident. Anyway, wow. I'm not a beef channel. And if there's some beef, if people have a beef, I'll prefer that you would take it off the channel and not beef with each other here. Also have a thing about trolls. If you just happen to be a troll, well, trolls are welcome also, because you actually might learn something to where you don't want to troll anymore. So that's the way I look at it. So if you're gonna be a troll, be quiet about it. Don't troll. If you learn something from me, good. If I could change you from trolling, that's a good thing. Other than that, though, I think I pretty much laid down the ground rules on how things work around here, on how the type of channel I run. All right. So what else do we have to talk about today? The coronavirus. So as you can see, there's a pandemic. The coronavirus is ravaging China. I hear that a doctor that was treating people for it has passed away from this virus. The last time I checked, there was like 90,000 people that were affected. There have been plenty of deaths. And I was looking at another news outlet that said that about 20 countries have started quarantining their own people because of this virus. They say that coronavirus is supposed to be more powerful and even more deadlier than SARS and bird flu. Now, this could all be a marketing ploy, because I do realize that the media is a big marketing machine. The media does play off of people's fears, but at the same time, it's good to be aware. It's good to be alert. It's good to be caught up on things that's happening, that's affecting us in the world today. There's been a few cases here in America. You have more and more people that are taking more precautions, like hand sanitizer and wearing masks. Here's what I'm going to say on that. These are some things I think that people should be doing anyway. You should be more clean. And why I don't doubt that coronavirus is a serious thing. We need to really be focused on maintaining good health to begin with. You see, when I think about what's going on in these other countries, I think about what the I'm saying this. I'm going somewhere with this. Follow me. But when I think about what these guys from the SYSBM movement say about going to Brazil and getting their passports, the passport brothers, and going to other countries to find women, well, maybe this should change your mind about wanting to go to other countries. See, a lot of these guys that talk about wanting to go to other countries, chances are, truth is, a lot of them can't even afford to go out of the country. A lot of them can't afford to get a passport. Heck, you can't even afford to probably take a local bus to get somewhere. Now, yeah, I know I might be sounding a little bit judgmental, but when you talk about things like this, when you talk about these guys that's talking about leaving the community and going out and getting passports, once again, this is stuff that we should be doing anyway. Why does it take a situation such as your this love for black women or the community for you to go out and get a passport or something? This is stuff that we should be doing anyway. Bottom line is that you got a bunch of guys that are butthurt and angry. Basically, people who are being made to take responsibility and to stand up and be held accountable for things. But when you get people who don't want to be held accountable, you get people who don't want to pull their weight, so to speak, you're going to get that. But I don't want to get on SYSBM. I don't even know how I got on that. I started drifting away. I lost my focus. I was talking about coronavirus. So coronavirus is a serious epidemic. It's said to be spreading to other countries. What I believe, though, we need to be focused on what's going on here. See, this to me should be a wake-up call to those who want to leave America, who suggest going into other nations. As you can see, the situation is not much better in other places. So the way I look at it, I'd rather take my chances here in the United States of America, which my ancestors helped build. You see, we should be more, this should cause us to be more proactive as far as being clean anyway. Should be close to cleanliness and making sure that we have our own health in some kind of order. That's what this should teach us to be. This should teach us to be more health conscious, more just more clean, period. How coronavirus was formed, I have no idea. I don't know what concocted it, what made it a threat, but I do agree that it is something that we need to definitely be aware of, and we should be aware of these things. And I'm not making light of the situation that's going on. I'm not making fun of what's going on. I just do believe, though, that we as people should be a little bit more aware of our surroundings, and we should be more clean. We should be more we should be a little bit more healthy to begin with. And that goes with one way that these certain viruses and diseases and things could be prevented is if we will wash our hands. We should definitely be clean before we eat. We should be a little bit more proactive as far as being in the kitchen or being outside. You see, a lot of times people don't wash their hands. People don't exercise good, proper hygiene. I think that's one way to cut down on certain conditions and certain situations. So that's what I just basically wanted to mention there as far as coronavirus is concerned. You know, as far as these different infections. Another another thing too I noticed that people do a lot, and this is just so disgusting, is that when people cough and sneeze, they keep their mouth open. They don't cover their mouth. They don't cover their face when they sneeze, and then they put their hands on their face and then they touch something. That right there is very disgusting. It's nasty. People need to exercise a little bit more hygiene in that area. That's one of the reasons why I don't really like touching metal when I'm out in public, especially if I'm riding a bus. I don't really like to touch the pole. I'll usually like reach out with my elbow or something like that. I mean, because people, the bottom line, are just not clean these days. See who else is in the room today. What's up, Flavor? What's going on with you, brother? Glad to see you here, man. My man Flavor's in the building. Haven't seen you in a while either. Yeah, that's what I keep hearing, the same thing too. I keep hearing that coronavirus is man-made, and it's quite possible that it is. And you know, I've even heard people, particularly in China, which makes sense, that it's a form of population control. Well, considering that China does have the world's largest population, that's not too far-fetched. And not to mention, China has always been the one to be very, when it came down to having with their female children, they were very firm in that. They didn't want people having too many female children, which was very sexist to say. I mean, if a family had female children, what were they supposed to do? They wanted to have more male children, which is, I never could quite understand that. But when you have a government regulating your children right there, that should be some red flags that should pop up in people's heads, in my opinion. So, I mean, the government should not have no say-so in how many children that you decide to have. I think that's something that should be between the couple that decides to have children. No government entity should have no say-so in the number of children that you have in your family. The only thing to be responsible for is if you do have children, are you able to take care of them? Can you provide for them properly? Now, I don't have any children, so I know I shouldn't be speaking much on that. I'm just speaking out of my opinion, so that's my disclaimer there. I'm not no kind of medical doctor or anything like that. I'm just basically speaking out of how I feel, that's all. So that's how I feel about that. So, and last but not least, I want to just basically talk about random topics. So, I don't know if anyone else watched them last night, but I don't know if anyone else watched them last night, but the 92nd Annual Academy Awards came on. I know a lot of you probably could care less, which is, I understand. I mean, I get off into that because I'm into the entertainment industry, independent filmmakers, and the Academy Awards is basically a celebration of the achievements of those in the motion picture industry. Watching them last night, seeing some of the films that were nominated, some of them talked about one film that was nominated in particular that won some good awards, and I would suggest people see it. It's called Parasite. It's a South Korean film, South Korean language, English subtitles. It talks it talks a lot about the society we live in, about class, about the haves and the have-nots. It's a really good film. It won. It had a there was it was a good reason for it to win. It tackled all the different the different social taboos and ills that we deal with. Even though this film takes place in South Korea, the subject matter was pretty much spot on for everybody. It could take place here in America. But anyway, it won for best foreign film, best picture, best director. I think it took on some other accolades. I would suggest that people go see it because once again, it tackles social norms, and which brings me to another thing I'm about to say. I'm going to make an announcement. But for those of you who don't know this, I spent some time in Los Angeles here. I was homeless for a little bit myself. And I know what it's like to be without. I know what it's like to not have a place to go. I spent time living in shelters in Skid Row. I slept on buses and trains. I spent time doing that. I thought about something last night when I was going home. When we were passing under the I-10 freeway, I noticed that there were some tents and things under there. Not that I haven't noticed it before, but for some reason it really took precedence and it really made sense. See, while a bunch of millionaires were busy awarding themselves on Hollywood and Highland for their achievements, at the same time you see the opposite spectrum of people living under bridges with nowhere to go. And when you think about those two different opposites, it brings to mind about the documentary that I made about homelessness in LA, as well as the tourism industry in LA, about how two opposites are side by side, which leads into my announcement I'm going to make. So the documentary that I did caused me to meet a director who actually was inspired by my documentary, and we did a little film. It's a short film called 6 and 12, which I starred in. I did a role in it. It's called 6 and 12, and it's an entire film. It's a short film. You could catch it on YouTube. There's a way I could send it. I wish I could put it in my community tab. I think there's a way I could even put it in my community tab. I will figure it out. But it's called 6 and 12. And it talks about basically about what it's like to be a homeless man in LA. Of course, there's a story attached to it. But it's based on my experiences and also by my research about the homeless situation here in Los Angeles. And really, it's really a metaphor for everywhere. But it's about a particular section in LA, Skid Row, as you all know. And it talks about those norms. Anyway, I spoke to the director of this film recently, and he wanted to expound on this film, making it into a feature, to which I also have some input and something to do with it. So I'm excited about this thing because it's giving me a chance to flex my producing skills and maybe even being a technical advisor. And it's putting me more in touch with what it is I came here to do, which is with filmmaking. And this is something I love to do. I love to tell stories. I love to put stories out there, guys. And someday, guys, you all will see me too on the silver screen. And or possibly even on Amazon or something like that, Netflix. But my thing is this: is that if you have a dream, if you have something that you want to accomplish, if you have something that you want to do, by all means, get up and do it. Don't let nothing hold you back. Don't let nothing or no one stop you. Just get up and do it. And I'm also talking to myself as well. You got something brewing inside of you. Don't let nobody take that from you. Don't let no one tell you you can't do it. Don't let no one say that you're not good enough. Don't let no one say that you're not intelligent enough, that you don't have enough education. Start from where you are, start with what you got, and just do it. That's the main ingredient. Just do it. Like Nike once said, just do it. And I know I've said this before, but see, this is a topic that is very near and dear to my heart because I've experienced it before. I'm not talking about something that I never experienced. I'm not talking about things that I know nothing of. I'm speaking about something that I have indeed experienced before and dealt with quite a few times. So yeah, just do it, everybody. Let me look at the chat again and see what everyone's talking about. Hey, that's what's up, everyone. Okay, yeah, I appreciate you, Divine Wisdom. Yeah, you believe that blessed also. And Flavored, all right, Flavor, you getting ready to start driving? That's good, brother. That's good, man. That's good. But yeah, I mean, we have so much, we have so much talent. We got so many things to do. And guys, just take a look at what's going on out here. I mean, let's take a look at the weather. I mean, just look at it. I mean, the weather just looks nice out here. The weather just, everyone just is out here. I mean, why stay inside and be cooped up and just be angry all the time? You know, we just need to be more, we need to be more tolerant of one another. We need to be more of a more embracing. That's the problem with people. That's the problem with people today. You know, people don't have a. People are not human toward each other. People are not civil to each other anymore. We've just lost the human touch. Everyone's so busy, got their faces buried in these phones and buried in their computers and tablets. And I get it. You know, sometimes people have to work on their phones, tablets, and laptops. I understand that. I get that. I do the same thing. But every now and then, look up and notice the person standing in front of you. Notice your surroundings. Notice the air out there. I don't know. Just notice what's going on. Now, we don't want to be so cooped up in our devices that we forget to be human. Oh, what's up, James? James Hudson's in the building. Oh, okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I'm just out and about, you know. Just wanted to get out here and just be out there and enjoy the warm weather. I mean, look at what just in survey and embrace what God has given us. Now, God has been a real blessing in my life, and I'm so thankful for things He continues to do in my life when I don't even deserve it. I am so thankful. You know, life is too short, but life is also got so much to do than to just sit up there and be cooped up and angry all the time. No, we need to get up and just learn to embrace the world. And that's another thing too. Sometimes people just need a listening ear. We don't need to always be fixing people. Sometimes folks just want to be listened to. A lot of times we're not qualified to fix people. So why do we try to fix people? We could barely fix ourselves. Sometimes just people just want you to listen to them. So if we could focus on that, if we could get to the point where we could just listen to folks and not fix folks, if we put more energy into possibly even praying for folks, and instead of trying to fix folks and judge people and posting about things, we could possibly change our situation overnight in the world today. We could possibly do things, we could possibly just make a situation even better in the world without having to fix around, having to think that we could fix everything. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say. These are the topics, though, I pretty much wanted to talk about. I didn't speak on them, but highlighting about what I spoke about earlier, as far as Gayle King is concerned, I think she should have apologized. I heard that she apologized, and actually I saw a clip of her saying that she's angry at herself. Okay, we get it, but don't beat yourself up. Just realize, though, just the next time you do an interview, use wisdom and research before you start asking questions. And don't keep on harping on something that was already answered. If the question was already responded to, if the question was already answered, then don't continue to ask the same question over again. That's how I feel about that. But no, I don't wish any kind of harm to come on her at all. And I hope that no harm comes on her. And I'll just leave it at that. Um, and as far as us in the community, I'll say it again. Get up and do something. Be the change once again that you're looking for. No, it's not going to happen overnight. I'm not expecting it to happen overnight. But instead of complaining about things, we need to get up and help fix it. We need to get up and do something and just continue to move on and keep it pushing. That's what we need to do. That's right, James. Vine and Melrose. Yep, I'm just out and about and just walking around and checking out the scenery. Yeah, that's one thing about me. You pretty much will see me everywhere. See what everyone's talking about again. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Love you too. Love you too, Queen. Yeah, it's good to just get out and talk to everyone. I miss talking to you guys. I know I haven't been doing it enough, but that's going to change because I'm going to get back on my schedule, get back on my routine, get back to doing my uploads also. Do more uploads, more lives, because I too want to work on my watch hours as well. You know, it's good to be out there in front of the people. I don't know, I guess as content creators, I don't know how this works, but maybe people look at us as public figures too. I mean, I don't think I'm a public figure. I think I'm a young man who loves to make content, quality content, and encourage people. I love to make films, and I just love to get on YouTube and just talk to people. That's the way I look at it. It's a form of communication. Other people could see it differently, though. Some people think that we're public figures. I never once put myself in a position of thinking I'm a public figure. I always thought that public figures were political figures. And as you can see, I'm not running for office. I have no interest in running for office. But there are things that I'm knowledgeable of. There are some topics that I do like to discuss and share with people. But I'm not a public figure, not by a long shot. Oh, all right, James, you're in Long Beach. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, every now and then I still ride the train and stuff like that too. I do. I mean, every now and then. But yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say about that. We're not. I don't think I'm a public figure. That's the way I see it. But yeah, I'm gonna start getting into shape, doing more exercise. Y'all, this is still the beginning of 2020. You know, we're still in the beginning. We're still doing things, y'all. We can still do it. Oh, and another thing too, I recently did, which I'm proud of. I took a course on drones. I think as content creators, we should get into the drone technology. See, the drone industry is still pretty much in its infancy. We could use drones, y'all, to make money with. That's another form of entrepreneurship. You could use drones to cover somebody's business. You could use drones to get some good aerial footage of landscapes and stuff. I mean, there's so many different things you could do. So look at that, guy. Look into that. I took this workshop called Drone Command Live. Man, it changed my life, y'all. So stay tuned because man, it's money to be made. Check it out, dronecommandlive.com. The guy who founded it, his name is Damon Darnell. He's known as the Drone Boss. He's got a lot of good info on drones and drone technology, how to utilize them, the laws concerning them, because in order to be a drone operator and to do it as a business, you have to have what's known as the 107 license, which is governed by the FAA. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that license, I'm going to ace it. And y'all, when I do that, look out, look out. Give me some drone hours in, learning to fly them, learn to pilot. There are certain places that you can and can't fly them. Certain times you can fly them, and certain legalities with flying them. But it's time to do it, y'all. It's time to do it, and yeah, I'm excited. So anyway, guys, I've reached the hour mark. I'm gonna definitely appreciate everyone for coming through. See what people have to say. That's good, guys. Yeah, go on and get yourselves in shape. That's good. I'm glad to see everyone's getting themselves in shape. After I am able to get my full driver's license and a car, my plan is getting a motorcycle endorsement because motorcycles are about to be my new hobby. That's good, Flavored. Man, I tell you what, Flavored. One bike I definitely want, a Harley Davidson Road Glide. I've always loved Harleys and I've always loved their big bikes. I love Harley Davidsons. Not that I got anything against the sport bikes, the Japanese bikes. They just go too fast. I love Harleys. They're built to cruise, and that's pretty much the thing I'm into is cruising. I'm not really into the sport bikes or flying down the street. That's literally you literally have a rocket underneath you, and I'm not trying to go that fast. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm glad everyone came here to see me. I love every last one of you. Once again, guys, support me, support the channel at paypal.me/The Real Aaron Collins, as well as patreon.com/The Real Aaron Collins. Finance the channel. I'm trying to do things. I'm trying to get my channel a little bit more professional. Not saying that's not professional now, but I just want to add some more things to it. I appreciate every last one of you all, though. You guys are awesome. Some of you guys have been rocking with me for a long time, and I appreciate that. I appreciate your loyalty. Thank you, Flavored. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Oh yeah, James. Yeah, I heard about the memorial at the Staples Center, but I'm not sure what day it was. I wouldn't have mind coming through though. I wouldn't have mind coming through there. I would have definitely done that. Oh, I appreciate that, Queen. I appreciate that so much. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go and wrap this up. Get on with my day. But everyone, definitely have a blessed day. Have a blessed day, everybody. Be safe. Follow your dreams. Go out and get it. The sky's the limit. And remember, everyone, just do it. That's right. Just do it. And don't let no one stop you or tell you you can't do it. All right. Talk to you later.